All right, that is good. Quickly, let's just talk about the little issues, the light issues before we go to the stronger issues. Of course, when we have the football done gang, and let's talk about the resignation of Gareth Southgate. The pressure was much, but he still made it to the final. And there were even reports that they might extend his contract to the World Cup, but the man said no. It's time I leave. I've done a human's job, and maybe you guys should look for somebody else.
Exactly.
So. After the disappointing, ousting in the final, or should I say outing? I wanted to say ousting by Spain, but they did well. So after that disappointing final for England, what would you make of England's fate at the moment, and considering the resignation of Gareth Southgate?
Anyways, I think it's a really difficult moment for England as we speak, because there were pressure on the board and all of that he should stay, because he's had a good run with the team since 2016. It's just commonsensical to stick with the better evil, which is Gareth Southgate. He's appeared in a couple of finals, and that should count for something. Spain were better on the day, but how finals can be.
Yeah.
You must 100%. Nobody gave England a chance. Someone like me didn't give them a chance, because I saw 2-3 of their games and I thought they were woeful. But then, the moment they got to the knockout stages, they began to show some mettle, and people started believing in them again, and then getting to the final. But unfortunately, they were meeting with a side that went 6 games without getting trashed. They were almost impeccable, on the night. And against look at the switch, Nico Williams, at the point where they thought Yamal was having a bad day, switch Nico Williams. Give all the credit to De La Fuente, who has handled these guys under 19, under 21, and a team that nobody really gave a chance. So England coming against that formidable team, would prove too difficult. If it had been somebody else, another team away from Spain, maybe England would have brought that trophy on, but it wasn't to be. And anybody, except for critics, will have thought, okay, we can still stick with these guys. Good things, they take time, and it can come really, really late. But it looks like it's really, really close for England. But if you now look at the pressure that has also come on Southgate, who many people think, who is this guy, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure he must have thought about it with his family, with those close to him, and say, these guys don't really appreciate what you have done. They think you bring bad luck and all of that. I think you should say your goodbye. And trust me, there are jobs waiting for Southgate. There are many people already contracting him. Already, I'm sure, sending texts, calling him, come and handle this, including Manchester United. There were rumors that Ineos could go with Southgate, even though I'm not a big fan of Southgate. But I think that by and large, he's done a fantastic job with England. People shouldn't crucify him. It's easier said than done. If you get there, you discover that it's a different, kettle altogether. So I just feel like maybe it's a good decision for Southgate. He will get many offers, trust me.
So how long now must England wait to get a trophy finally? They've come agonizingly close twice to getting something, but it seems it's just far off.
I'm sure the World Cup is out of it, because Spain will be there 2026. I will have some other big weights. Germany will be there. France will come. Argentina will come. It's going to be too hot. England will just have to sharpen up. It could even be their time. Honestly, football can be bloody hell, just like Sir Alex Ferguson would say. It could be their time. They could get to the semi-finals of the World Cup. They could pull it off. Far beyond the expectations of people. But I think they will have to go again. That's just it. They have a quality squad. There's no doubt about it. I used to imagine Pep Guardiola handling England. They'll win anything, honestly. I don't know. I don't know if Pep is game for national football. But I'm sure with someone like Pep, they'll win anything. Some of the outlines, some of the alternatives I've seen as to who should take the job, I just think they are there. If Southgate couldn't pull it off, who are these guys? They are just they're roaming. They need an extraordinary coach to get something extraordinary out of that England team.
So right now you are saying that any coach that will just get there has to really be extraordinary to be able to get something.
Dima, you know that this is 100%. You have to be. I mean, it's not. You are not going there to go and guess anything. You have the manpower. You have the firepower. It's now left for your organization and tactics to come into play.
Okay, let's really just talk about the Olympics. Right now there's a lot of expectations for the Olympics. Let's not forget that there's a political unrest in France, as it may, but they are going on with the Olympics. They are just going to increase their security presence so as to make sure that everything goes on. In a few days' time, the Olympics will kick off in full light. And what are your expectations for Olympics generally? Of course, narrowing it down to the national level, of course, Nigeria's representatives.
On both sides, I think is a good one. Yes, the Euro 2024 just concluded. It means that we'll have that buzz and, whatever, right into the Olympics. People are still going to be in their moment, and, there's football, basketball, all the sports represented. So it's going to be a swell time for, sport lovers globally. I think they will have a very good, but it's now left for France to first off, and honestly, thank God you said that, the security thing is big deal. There's a lot of breakdown in security. Recently, one of the biggest names in world politics was had a death scare. And could have been killed. It means that, anywhere, anytime, you cannot be too careful. So if we do not want to have something out of the ordinary that could prove really disastrous, then all hands must be on deck. The government must be they have to be at their best. Yes, proactive with security, get everything together, make sure that whoever is coming in, I mean, the scrutiny, I know the West for their detail, France included. There's a lot of detail on ground, so it has to be good. So amid the pomp, excitement, and all of that, we must be battle ready for any kind of nuisance that I want to upstage the beauty of that tournament. We know how beautiful Olympics. I mean, this is something I've always looked forward to ever since I've been a sport lover. Olympics are usually a different kind of moment on the field, off the field. It's beautiful. So we're expecting same, even better this time around. Nigeria is also represented in a couple of sports, so we hope it's going to come good.
There will be no dream team, but of course Nigeria women will be represented. They also have a match against Canada, which they'll be using to prepare for that match. There will be Toby Amuson, there will be
No, I'm talking about the Falcons.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said that there will be no dream team. That the dream team I'm talking about is the men's team, but the female will be represented. Esebrume will be there, Toby Amuson will be there, the power lifters will be there, the wrestlers will be there, the Tigress will be represented. Who are you thinking would actually be able to get gold, considering how long it's been since Nigeria got gold at the Olympics?
I think it's the time for Toby Amuson. She's come through grueling criticism. She's been under serious, heat from people who think that she's into doping and all of that. But this is a lady who brings everything, to competition, and it looks like people have to scrutinize her 1 trillion times to ascertain if she deserves. Let the world know this. Toby Amuson is a winner, and she would always be a winner. I don't care. I'm sorry for my jingoism, but I feel Amuson, she has paid her dues, and she's ready to claim gold in this tournament. And I wish her all the very best. Luck and everything in between. She should go and make Nigeria proud. Nigeria needs this moment, for some kind of psychological balance. It's going to bring a lot of joy. She's going to bring a lot of joy to Nigerian homes. People who are trampled down by the economic problems and all. Imagine that. I feel I'm going to be close to tears if I see that lady win gold, because the other time she did, I was moved because the national anthem was on, and I was just looking at her eyes when she was receiving that medal, and I felt this is that moment. I want to wish Nigeria best, going into this tournament. Most of these athletes, they did everything on their own, and there is no doubt about it. They went all on their own, their training, everything. They just wanted to have a country, in their CV, and that's why they chose Nigeria. If not for anything, Toby should be representing another country, but she chose Nigeria, and she's doing everything on her own. So she deserves, that somehow the universe is on her side.
Thank you very much. Of course, with the way the Nigerian sporting ministry has been preparing for this, 100% budget was given to the team for the first time in a very long time. And, we just hope that all this will culminate in the right effect. Since we're still abroad, since we're in France, let's move now to the U.S. and quickly just touch on the assassination attempt on Trump, the RNC currently ongoing, the way, previous critics have now turned allies for Donald Trump, Democrats being blamed for that very ugly incident right there in Pennsylvania on Donald Trump. What would this development do to the ambition of Donald Trump or Joe Biden, or in fact, the U.S. political environment as a whole?
Interestingly, there is no doubt, if you've been following the event since it happened up until the convention at Milwaukee, it has doubled whatever representation that Trump has, on the global stage and in America. The figures has doubled for him on the social media space. Everyone seems to be backing him. Immediately, in the aftermath of that event, people thought this must have been staged.
I would say I thought the same thing. I really, how, why, where? I mean, for a presidential candidate, that was so easy.
Because the would-be assassin was right there on the rooftop, and
nobody,
so people felt that if it's not staged, then there was a breakdown of security on the part of, the security detail of Donald Trump, and they felt that all of them should be out of their...
I think we lost that. In case you're just tuning in, this is General Issues with the General, and of course represented by Dimmachukwu Ndubuisi this morning. I'm being joined in the studio by Waju Akin Emmanuels. But before I bring it in, let's just conclude on that discussion before we move on to other topics this morning. General, let's see if we can get you back on quickly. Are you there? I think he's there. Okay, maybe network. Okay, before we get back to General, good morning, Waju.
Morning, Dimmachukwu. Great to be here. I like the fact that, what I met you all guys discussed it had to do with the Olympics, and then you moved to the very, very unexpected, but it turned out to actually be an eventful, happening. The
assassination attempt,
on Trump's live. Just like Fortune said, I think that his fortune suddenly skyrocketed after that particular event. You only need to go and on social media and look at all the major indices. He's on his way to I mean, I don't want to make any...
Sorry about the network glitch.
Okay, sorry about that too.
So let me just wrap up. I know that I'm out of time already, but then Trump, just like I said, there was a breakdown in security, which everyone commonsensical could see, and then they couldn't spot the rifle, or they left him to take that shot. What if? Just what if? As much as some people think it's staged, but what if Trump had been hit by that bullet and his brain blown off the stage? Because it took just a nanosecond right there to escape that. Whatever has happened there, 5 shots fired, somebody died before the gunman was taken down. What if something had gone awry? So altogether, I think this is a booster for him. The only negative for me is that Trump cannot be calling for national unity immediately after that event, and then calling the Democrats evil in the same breath. Democrats are also citizens. Forget about the political affiliations. Everyone, if you are saying national unity, you are saying everyone.
Even the shooter, Thomas Cooks, he has been identified as a Republican, member. Yeah,
you understand. So what are we talking about? You cannot. Some people brand him the American Hitler. And you know that Donald Trump can be really, really uncouth when it comes to issues like this. So I think that again, as much as people do not want Biden, for the second time because of his, he can't put his
thoughts together, his thoughts,
and all of that. They also have to be careful, with whoever. Remember what we experienced in 2020. The Capitol Hill protest was the first of its kind in the U.S., and it could have led to anything. In fact, that society could have been disintegrated, if not that the institution was working. So they need to be careful, whatever emotions they are playing around. I mean, I wish US all the best, but but by and large, I think whatever has happened has contributed greatly to the speed and success that Trump is recording currently in the build-up to the November presidential election.
All right, thank you very much, the General.
Thank you
course,
very much.
Get back to what you're doing, and of course, we hope that you get the best out of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. My regards to the Dynamo there.
Yeah,
thank you, my guy. Have a great day.
All
Cheers,
right.
bro. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And of course, that is the Dynamo. We talked about sports, and of course, moved on straight to the assassination attempt on Donald Trump and how the political climate is shaping up in the United States of America ahead of the November elections later this year. Joe Biden has received strong criticism. Some are already, galvanizing themselves in support of him, but still, it seems ever since that attempt on Donald Trump's life, his support base has increased. Even moderate Democrats are now tuning to his favor, now saying that maybe Donald Trump is the right one. Maybe he can be the one to make America great again. And let's not forget that the recent nomination of J.D. Vance, who has once in his life called Donald Trump an American Hitler, is also something that people will look at. A 39-year-old fresh face. That's what Republicans are terming in a fresh face in American politics. And now he is the VP of the Republicans. Well, how do all this make
I think the first thing we need to even look at, apart from even Vance, is to look at the emergence of those two individuals. Joe Biden and
Donald Trump.
Very many analysts will tell you that probably they're not the best candidates that America should actually be feeding at this particular point in time. But some other, analysts will tell you that it's actually perfect for them. And the reason is that Americans have also not been good people in terms of how they have interfered in other nations, politics. Like it or not, they played a role in whoever emerges. They play a role, rather, whoever emerges president in Nigeria. And in most African countries. As a matter of fact,
wow,
it is what it is. It is what it is. So they seem to be in a position where two of supposedly the worst candidates
in the history of America,
are there,
and two of the oldest,
of the oldest. But there's something you can't take away from Donald Trump. It's smart.
Okay.
It's just blunt.
Are you in favor of his policies?
I would never.
Considering how hardline his policies are.
There's nothing that is hardline about Trump that Joe Biden has not done indirectly.
Okay.
See,
let's just use Trump, 1 minute to explain
Trump
that.
does not hide who he is. I'm fighting for America. This is what I think my nation deserves.
Okay.
Does racism exist?
Yes, it does.
In America, yet even though we have a democratic government,
it is.
A democratic leader, I would like you to experience that when there is Donald Trump. It's a possibility. And guess what? There are blacks supporting Donald Trump.
Yeah, there are.
In fact,
but people would say that it is the rich of the rich blacks that support Donald Trump.
The question is, why are they supporting Donald Trump? They are first and foremost black. And it doesn't mean that they have not been racially profiled and abused too. But here is it. Hypocrisy is a major tool that most people use. It's the same thing that we do here in Nigeria, that we do here. The Democrats are not angels. They're not.
There
are still very many places you get to in America that as a black person you will be badly profiled, even under a Democrat leader. So Trump is just saying that this is who I am. We have rules. Follow these rules. You are good. Nothing happens to you. So in a way, I am not supporting him. Neither am I against him. But if you ask me to actually pick between the two of them,
between Biden and Trump,
I would not think about it twice. Because at least first and foremost, you already see. We will say.
So you are also in support of Democrats choosing another candidate.
Definitely, if they had actually chosen another candidate, I would definitely queue behind them. There's something about Donald Trump. It would tell you that this is me, and I like people like that. You're not hiding. I don't have to be guessing who you are today. Are you going to be chameleonic today, and then you become no? I am like this. That's a beautiful thing. That's what we don't have in a nation like Nigeria. And that's, see.
And speaking of what we don't have in a nation like Nigeria, let's start from the African continent before we narrow it down to the national level.
Yeah.
Right now, there are politics going on in Kenya. A lot of things is happening right now in Kenya. I think it was Rwanda just completed their election. Of course, the final announcement will be made by 20th of July, which Kagame has outrightly won. They say it's a landslide 99% victory. I don't think that's even an election.
Yes.
I think it's a host just to make fulfill all righteousness.
Yes.
There are also a lot of new how will I put it now? Political climate change.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
As you have the Niger, Chad, and this thing now trying to create a block of their own. ECOWAS is still trying to kick against it.
Yes.
President Tinubu has been re-elected. In all these developments, there's something that is still common. We are still behind in terms of development, in terms of democratically electing leaders. There's still no change. It's as if we are still, doing the same old things in a new way. So I want to ask this question. It's a general question, but I've used these examples to make you, flow in your thought. How or why how is it that European countries, no matter how corrupt they are still getting some things right? You understand? Putting some things in place, structures in place to vet. Because, for instance, look at Republicans are the ones saying that, some of them are saying Donald Trump is too hardline.
Yeah.
Democrats are saying that, we don't like Biden, change him. Those are party members.
Yes.
But we don't see the same thing in African countries. So why is it that most African countries are still having that third world country syndrome?
I'll give you
what has made us stick there and not go out there?
There are many, factors that you can actually, adduce for this particular, experiences we have. We don't have strong institutions. Establish that, and most of our political parties are also without ideologies. As a matter of fact, you would know that we don't have ideologies when you realize that. Take Oyo State for an instance. Since 1999, I can tell you that very many people that are occupying different political positions today, including Mr. Governor, at a particular point they were in another party. What was the last time? I mean, did you ever hear that Donald Trump,
switched from Republican to Democrat?
I mean, there was a time that the governorship was an SD.
I mean, even in France, you hear things like far right, far left, moderate right, moderate left, centrist.
So
there's a sense of belonging.
They understand
what they want to do.
This is what we're doing. A certain Ben Carson,
Green Party in UK.
A certain Ben Carson has been a Republican for as many years as I know. Ben Carson wrote very many books that some of us read when we were much younger. But he's a Republican. It's not going like this and
diving.
Today, what the expiration of some of these governors tenure.
So are you saying that African countries are the way they are because of a lack of ideology?
They don't have it. That's one. It's a strong one, and that's because what is driving them in the first place is not really an ideology that they want to work with. It's the fact that they are hungry. Sorry to use that expression, but it's the truth.
So hunger is
hunger does not necessarily mean that you don't have what you need part time. It's just that you have a mindset of always acquiring even what you don't need
without giving.
Of what you don't need. That is hunger, in the real sense of it.
Or poverty of the mind.
Yes, it is just what it is. More. I mean, I'll give you another example. A couple of months ago, like a year, and probably a half ago, a certain Dimmachukwu was an LP member.
True.
But don't forget, before then he was a PDP member.
Yeah, he was a PDP.
Served under PDP in several capacities.
Then became an LP member.
Today
did not penetrate into the party, and now he's AP.
Today, I mean, so how do you do that merry-go-round if you really were driven by ideology? It's a thing that should even be a slap in the face for you. How many governors, how many senators today? I can mention 7 senators who were once governors in their states, who are today APC members.
But the argument, for instance, in a place like Rwanda is that since Kagame came, of course, transiting from a military leader to a politically elected leader, he has shaped the system of things in Rwanda. He has made them to a large extent forget that there was a genocide in 1990.
And that's why,
and people are saying that maybe that's why he's getting large popularity, but they are criticizing his barring of other candidates and not giving them equal playing ground.
And that's exactly where you also have to question some of the ideals of democracy.
Maybe democracy is not for Africa. Can we say that?
No, you can say that because
maybe the style of Western democracy is not Africa's democracy.
If you go back the memory lane, you remember, I think it was Plato or was Aristotle that has actually said that democracy, I'm paraphrasing, he didn't say it this way.
Yeah.
Democracy most times actually, is like a government of the fools, because it talks about you having the majority.
It's always the majority that wins.
So what
majority are not always correct.
Majority are not always correct. Majority are not always the best. So when a set of fools assemble and decide that, okay, we enjoy the majority of population, and then we want one of us to go and represent us. However smart other people, because they are in the minority,
they would not be able to get to that position.
And I'm going to ask you a simple question. Look at the history of this nation. How many times have we truly got it? I mean, we had a president just a couple of years ago. Would you say that with all the, certificated professors we have around, those that you could call proven technocrats in their different fields, were we deserving of such a president? But it's what we got. See.
Well, a lot of persons will have their different arguments.
I know. I know. But you see, very many of them today are criticizing the same man. They couldn't do it when he was there because they were benefiting from the system, and they had a reason for actually enthroning him in the first place.
So it's people do things in Africa from a selfish point of view.
There's no other reason. I'm serious. I mean, we can afford to dig up a few things, but just because we also don't want to, cause what you call wahala in society. Even what we have at this particular point in time.
Okay, let's now cause wahala. Let's in case you're just joining us, this is General Issues with the General, and of course, represented by Dimmachukwu Ndubuisi this morning. I have Waju Akin Manuels in the building with me. We just got off the phone with the host who is speaking from afar. That is Fortune Moshola, the General. We would definitely see if we can be joined by Caesar, who took an excuse, and maybe Ashiwaju later on. But for now, let's delve into the matter that everybody is talking about right now. The local government financial autonomy that it was granted by the Supreme Court. Everybody have their matter. It has been liked and hate in equal measures by both parties, state stakeholders, national stakeholders. Even the judiciary is coming out to have their own say. We've had, very many known names saying that this is the step in the right direction, but then, Nigerians must be able to hold their leaders accountable. Until we are able to hold our leaders accountable, this might just be another, one of those, just like the what is it, the VAR? Sorry, I'm talking about our voting system. Is it
what do you call it? The IREV.
The IREV, or the Beaver. Yes, I'm sorry about that. Sorry, I did.
VAR has stopped to work on the but really.
No. I was just trying to be sarcastic there. But the truth is, people are saying that that this will definitely make a lot of things right. At least if the local government chairman and council members are empowered financially to make some decisions, because money is power. If you want to make some certain changes in your environment or society or community, you need money. You need financial authority. And many of them don't have that. That is why it's as if they are mostly at the detriment of their leaders. That is the government executives. Somebody like Showore is saying that, okay, this is good, but until again the federal government takes the elective power, that is the power to rig elections from the state government. Don't allow them to host the local government elections. Let it also come from the national level. Then we might still have the same thing where
even with that suggestion,
where hegemons
even with that, Showore is not helping matters. Because I'll tell you something.
Yeah, and somebody like Falana is saying that okay, accountability should be at top of priority. So many things are up there. So what do you make of this?
There's so many.
Okay.
There's so many things I would say, and I hope you just oblige me. Just give me, at this moment, just to analyze a few things.
I'll give you 3 minutes.
No, yeah, that's more than that. But let me start like this.
3 minutes.
A couple of days ago, there were reports that came, from UN and then NBS, that is Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, about the institutions that got the most bribe in 2023. I'm saying that again. Institutions, as a matter of fact, a particular amount of money was mentioned, well over 600 billion naira, going to almost a trillion. Guess what? The justice system actually came first in 2023. Now, why did that?
And that's supposed to be the hope of the common man.
Exactly. Why did I say that? I mean, imagine when they tell you that the justice system probably got more than the police. You already understand what the rot that was experienced in that particular system in 2023. Now, let's come to where we should actually be. I love the fact that a lot of people have expressed their opinions regarding the financial autonomy of the local government. It's a good thing. I've always believed that until we have functional 3 tiers of government, we're not likely to thrive. But see, my challenge is when Showore made a suggestion that federal government
should be the one to
take away the power from the state. The question: who then check the federal government?
No, take away the power to host the local government elections.
Who then check? Because when federal government wants to probably conduct the general elections, it simply means that the power in charge
will be the one to dictate.
However you try to do it. So who does that for them? And don't let us also be blinded by what looks like, I call it pseudo victory for democracy. That particular judgment. It's not because the federal government suddenly has realized that over the years, the local government has not really been functional. The question is, the individual who occupies the position of president today, how did he fare when he was a governor of Lagos State? How many elections were held? I'm asking at the local level. So it's not because they suddenly just love Nigeria. It's also because politicians in Africa, it's a pity. They are smart, they are sagacious when it comes to playing politics. When it comes to delivering governance, they don't. And that's why each time all of them probably make statements and talk about Baba Awolowo. Everybody who probably has read a bit of history knows that Baba played politics. Yeah. But Baba was also a deliverer when it comes to good governance. Yeah. At the moment, it's not something that should be a thing of shame. I stand to be corrected. All through the time that Baba was probably premier and then enjoyed some political positions at the federal level, would you say Baba had access to 100 billion in terms of all the resources he had? Some of these people have had trillions since 1999. They have not done 20%. All of them combined, not just one, combined to what Baba did. Every state in the southwest, including Kwara, you will see the imprint, the footprints of Awolowo in terms of governance. So then you ask them, what exactly are you doing with all this information and all these resources, all this political sagacity you claim you have? So it is a challenge. See, to answer the local government thing, I think that if the Appeals Court, if they think they did the right thing, good. They should have the autonomy. I think so. Yeah. But if it comes at the expense of deliverables that Nigerians need, you can't tell the workers in your state that they want to go back to the era where they were owed salaries, they were owed pensions, because local government were busy stealing their funds.
Wow, that is a very strong statement. In case you're just joining in, this is Adamimogo 105.1 FM, and you're listening to General Issues. And of course, staying in line for Fortune Omoshola is Dimmachukwu Ndubuisi. You've been listening to the voice of Waju Aki Emmanuels, and that is one hell of an argument in terms of financial autonomy being granted to local government. I'm being joined in now by another public analyst. Of course, a politician, if you may, and maybe to a large extent a mind with an objective mind. Oladimeji Ashiwaju. Good morning, sir.
When did you make me a politician?
Wait, Ashiwaju, see, he might be scared of you. My friend, sorry, I will not give you blue, but I will tell you that I put it to you that you're a politician. What's up, man? How you doing?
It's been a while.
How have you been?
The funny thing is that even the man in your studio who wants to give you is also a politician.
we are all politicians, but what we're arguing about is how do you deliver governance? We're not talking about we're not saying don't do politics. We're saying deliver governance while at it. That's what we're just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's just a joke, basically. So it's good to be back.
Yeah.
And good to hear your voice, Adamimogo.
Congratulations, my guy. It's been a while.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, bro.
We're so happy to have you back.
Congratulations. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just delve straight into the matter because we don't have time on our side. We've also been getting comments from Facebook. Damilola Ogunjobi saying good morning. Odewale Fumiladi saying kudos to you, sir, from Ikire. Abiola Deremi saying good morning from Akpete, Ibadan. Akpete, Ibadan. And Israel Ayo saying well done, sir, watching from Ogun State. And Ogbeni Odemi Omokure says well done and good morning. You can join us live on Adamimogo 105.1 FM or, of course, when we open the phone lines, call us on that line. But for now, let me just engage Oladimeji Ashiwaju. This is one man who definitely has been outspoken about division of labor or division of governance, especially when we're in Ekiti. You're always talking about how everybody should take up responsibility. Now the Supreme Court has finally tried to, give us that sense of division, saying that financial autonomy should be granted to local government and we should go past the days of, political executives, that state executives instituting their cronies to carry out their assignments in the different council and local government levels. Now, this is the new reality of Nigerians. It has gotten backlash and of support from different fronts. But right now, I want to know, what is your stand? And do you think that for this to work, do we need a constitutional tweak? Or you think that there's this way we can make this actually work in Nigeria? Ashiwaju.
Yeah. All right, so thank you very much, Diva. So first of all, I think the Supreme Court judgment, right, is just one leg out of so many legs that we still need to work around, right? So we talk about federalism, basically. You are simply saying there are different tiers of government. You have the federal government, you have the state government, you have the local government. However, there's also the argument around who has the power to create local government. So I think I need to just do a brief background around that.
Your background analysis is 60 seconds, please.
All right, don't worry, I will try. So, by and large, you will discover that creation of local government has only been done by the federal government. Attempts by state governors to create local government, right, has always been a legal issue around it. And so what they've done in the last couple of years is what they call SCDA. Right? Now, but if you look at constitutional recognition of local government, they are not recognized at the federal level, right? By question, they are not also being recognized. What we have is 774 local governments. So it means that whether you like it or not, we have the federal, we have the state, and we have 774 local governments. The next question that begs for question is how independent do we want our local governments to function, right? It's something that we can trickle down grassroots development, because some of these development that we're talking about are basically, in the real sense of it, some of these are actually the critical responsibility of the local government if we truly allow local governments to function. So over the years, we discovered that local government is as dead as you can call it because of so many factors. And the number one and the major factor is the role of the governors. And I said it on Monday on paper review on your station also, that I've never seen anywhere in the world where we have governors so powerful the way we have them in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Now, if you then go back to that analysis, I say, but if we truly want that reform for local government, and we want to take local ambition completely away from the whims and caprices of the governors, then we need to go back to the constitution, because that is where the problem lies.
So you are in favor of a constitutional tweak for the local government to be effective?
Completely. Because if you don't do that, right, governors will still find a way whereby they still have control over them. And I'll give you the simplest way to do that. Today, if you want to conduct local government elections today, it's going to be conducted by the state governors under the CIEC. And we know today that the CIEC, there's nothing independent about that CIEC. You have to remove that I in that CIEC and just call it State Electoral Commission. There's nothing independent about that CIEC that we're talking about. So if the local government chairman realize that he can only get to that position by virtue of who the governor wants to be there, then we still have a long journey to go when it comes to local government autonomy. Okay. So on one hand, the Supreme Court judgment has started that journey. What is now left, which is my fear, is the political will on the part of the President, the National Assembly, to then say, okay, we want to go a step further, choose the constitutional amendments, and ensure that including the electoral process that will produce this local government chairman and councillor. I don't like this argument, but for the sake of what we have currently, I would rather prefer INEC, regardless of imperfection of INEC, to conduct local government elections and that of councillor the same time we are having general elections. If we do that, you will know that you will emerge not because somebody imposed you, right? You will know that you will emerge not because the government can wake up tomorrow morning and ask the councillors to remove you or anything, right? Because if the state governors are not being controlled by the president, why should governor be controlling the local government chairman and councillors to do the
very good line of thought.
It's a marathon. It's a marathon.
But you said the step by the Supreme Court has started the marathon.
Hold on. But my fear is this: if we have constitutional amendments, right, you still need the 2/3 of State House of Assembly to also approve it. If not, it should not skip through. And this is my fear with the governors who control the House of Assembly. So even the National Assembly, the Senate and the House of Rep concur that we should treat that amendment. By the time we get to all these states, House of Assemblies, I fear these governors will mandate the House of Assembly not to give approval to that thing. So
all right, thank you.
I like your line of thought, but I want to ask you a simple question. There was something you said about SIEC being under the, the control of the government. You said there's nothing independent about SIEC. What is independent about INEC? Let's start from that.
I know you feel that.
No. It's a question. Wait. I'm asking a question. Just chill, bro. Just chill.
Hold on, because of time. I said despite the imperfection.
So you cannot foreclose one imperfection and say that the others can be foreclosed. If we believe the INEC, the INEC chairman, listen now, I'm asking a question. The INEC chairman is chosen by the president. It's chosen by the president. The individual chosen by one individual who occupies another position. You want that's an impossible person to conduct the election for another state. What is the difference?
I get your argument, but then except we want to deceive ourselves. INEC has its own imperfection. So we can then talk about how then we also reform INEC, whereby who becomes the INEC chairman does not come the president. We can have that argument. But then you cannot compare all these state local government elections. Dynamo will be in this country. You see the kind of elections that are being conducted at the local government level. You cannot compare that with what we see out with INEC. INEC has its own problem. I said, despite the imperfection of INEC, if you ask Nigerians to the they will still prefer INEC. Those are the imperfection. State electoral local government elections are being conducted without even beavers, without even any electronic means. You don't see that somewhere somebody just tick box before you start voting, they started announcing.
When you say the word
well, we have to.
When you say the word beavers,
we can.
Particularly when you put it to consider what happened in 2023, you are just shooting this argument in the leg.
Anyway,
because all of a sudden stop working for the election.
If I get Ashiwaju's argument very well, he's saying that
right.
If I get Ashiwaju's argument very well, he's saying that there should be some constitutional amendments, some constitutional tweaks to be able to empower local government chairmen. Lawmakers have a lot of work to do. It is not enough that the Supreme Court has granted financial autonomy. There must be some constitutional backing. Otherwise, it will still be the same old story. The same old story. And it's not as if institutions like Dynamo started with. We have weak institutional structures in Nigeria which also need work. So everything is a work in progress. This is a step in the right direction, according to Ashiwaju.
Let me just add something.
Let's just quickly
before we go.
No, we just have to quickly just touch this one, because if we stay on this one, we might not complete. The studio line.
You called me very late.
I'm so sorry, sir. 070 for the 7,815 or 070 for the 7,816 are the numbers to call. Let's quickly talk about, of course, 2-in-1 Rivers lawmakers trying to stop Governor Fubara from spending 2024 budget until he resubmits it. You understand? So it's a full-blown conflict between Okojumbo's led State House of Assembly and the Amewole-led State House of Assembly. And in the midst of all this hula baloo in the country, we have a lot of we've seen a number of things go wrong. From kidnappings to the killings of people as a result of building collapse, to the economic downturn. It keeps getting worse for a lot of people, and they are still yet to reach a resolution on the minimum wage. So now there is a threat of nationwide protest, and the Northern youths have already announced their plans to begin their own from August 1 to 10. So what
protest is haram.
Yeah, no,
it's haram. They know it.
So
because that's what they said.
Just to round off, Ashiwaju, what do you make of this happening in Rivers, and of course the threatened national protest?
You are not every matter. You have just 11 minutes when you have about 3 questions.
Exactly.
So let me just see in summary. Number one, I think Rivers crisis, I don't know how they are going to solve that problem. You can see one illegality trying to correct another illegality. You can see that's what you'll be seeing in Rivers right now. I don't know how that issue will be resolved, but we don't have time to delve into that. That's number one. The number two question is about the protest. Yes, like I put out on my post, protest is your right to have a protest where you don't feel comfortable with certain government policies or decisions or anything, right? And this way I'm going to have my issues to do that planning the protest. Make sure that your protest is well defined. Have your clear-cut objectives. Have your entry phase and exit phase, right? And also, as much as possible, stay on that line of your core objective of that protest.
Okay.
I hope that people will learn from what happened during answers. You cannot have a protest that you call is a faceless protest. It's a leaderless protest. There is no protest all over the world that I've seen, whether from Martin Luther, Matt Gandhi, short march protest in Haida, Martin Luther King Jr. protest, Mandela. You have to have structure, right? And you must put a face to all the protests, and you must have your objectives. Your objectives must be well stated, and then once your objectives are being achieved, you can then begin to look at the exit phase.
All right, thank you very much.
Lastly, they must also be careful, because if your protest is saying, "Oh, we want the government to end, we want Tinubu out of power," there's going to be a problem with that.
That's a form of insurrection.
So you must understand that what are your core objectives of the protest? How do you want to achieve it? What are your strategies? If that is put in place, I think there a lot of things can be achieved.
All right, thank you very much, Ashiwaju. God bless you and have a lovely day.
Thank you very much.
All right, your rounding was Dynamo.
I just hope that a time will come in Nigeria where everybody will truly uphold the true democratic ideals, because we need it. I don't want us speaking from different sides of our mouth. You can't tell me that SIEC is corrupt and INEC. No, it's not possible. We know exactly what happened during 2023 elections, and as a matter of fact, those that are in SEC today, one day will get to INEC. That's the way they operate.
True.
So for me, we must truly want the best for Nigeria, and it cuts across. Something is happening in Kaduna, and whether you like it or not, the reason the state government in Kaduna is probably launching an attack against the former government because somebody is also there. Is it possible that person might be from the presidency? It's a possibility.
All right. Thank you very much, Joaquin Manuel. Thank you, Fortuna Mochel, and of course, my regards to Caesar as well, who could not join us. I see the phone lines buzzing, rather, but we cannot take anyone. But of course, next week we'll try to make it a responsibility to pick calls. My name is Dimmachukwu Ndubuisi on behalf of the gang. Thank you so much for listening. So we join our voices again next time on General Issues. Have a wonderful day and keep praying for Nigeria.
Welcome to Adamimogo 105.1 FM. Voice of the Light.
Guys, I don't put your man. Sunana Binga Adeika Sirikin Diary. If you don't speak Hausa in the wo Afambu, Binga Adeika 1. If you don't speak Igbo or Bokia, Elime Binga Adeika. If you don't understand any of those languages, it doesn't matter. My name is Binga Adeika, the first they call me the GCON, the Grand Comedian of Nigeria, and you're listening to Adamimogo 105.1 FM. Don't change that dial.
The chief.